Okay, this view is incredible. I mean, we are minutes from downtown Kansas City. We are right in the mix of everything. You can get like a really good view of the city and the community that you all serve.
It's very important to us. I mean, we're right here in the heart of Kansas City, which is right in the middle of the heartland, and we are surrounded by agriculture, rivers, wildlife, and it's very important that we take care of this environment that's doing a good job of taking care of us and buying our beer.
Right. This is cool. I love it up here. Like, you wouldn't be able to get me down from up here.
The Boulevard Brewing Company has been making craft beer for over 30 years. With a profound sense of social responsibility embedded in their DNA, the brewing facility follows a zero landfill policy to promote a healthier planet. Whitney Manning visits the brewery to learn more.
This is an amazing facility. This is my first time here, so I am like in awe of everything that I am seeing today. Thank you so much for having us.
It is our pleasure, and I'm glad you feel the same excitement that we do when we step in this building every day working here.
This is so awesome. Can you explain to me, there's so much happening and the campus is so expansive and very well thought out. I can tell there's a lot of intention behind everything that you all are doing. What green efforts are you all putting into this campus just to make everything happen?
What do we do? Let me see, how much time do we have? Because it is expansive. It actually goes back to like kind of when we were founded. Our founder, John McDonald, has a profound sense of respecting the environment.
Yeah.
He's a proponent of responsible environmental business practices. But he also knows that the product that we make, beer, all the ingredients are raw ingredients that come from the earth. So we understand we kind of have to protect where that comes from. So
Right.
It has been embedded in our DNA from the beginning that we need to be responsible and take care of the environment.
A lot of people forget that beer is an agricultural product, so it all starts with the barley. We used to get all of our raw material shipped here in trucks, and it's trucks at really bad gas mileage. So now we've actually switched to about 50% of it coming through a transload site, so we can get it by train, or by rail, and it's way more efficient.
So can you walk me through a little bit of the process of what does sustainability mean to beer? Because sustainability can mean so many things to other industries, but how can sustainability be specific to beer?
Our founder, John McDonald, he's very, very green. And I always tell new hires, I'm like, if you're green or not, you are now, and we're good, because John is, so you are. It's part of our new hire training. When you come in, you know, every new hire has like safety training
Right.
and SOP training. They also have we call it like green training. Our brew house, we bought the most efficient brew house we could find. We want a brew house that uses like less steam, gentler on the materials, anything we can do to get all of the sugar out of that malt so that we're not just throwing things away.
When this building was built in 2007, you can see as you walk through, there's not a lot of electric light. We have big windows so that we can make use of natural light year round. In 2010, this facility became a zero landfill facility, which means that basically no waste goes out to a landfill. We have efforts in place to kind of divide up how we throw things away. It used to be you would have one waste container at your desk, and now we have dozens, and they're all designed for various types of paper or cardboard or composting your food or aluminum. You get the idea.
Yeah.
And anything that can't be recycled, reduced, reused, we send off to a company called Lafarge, and they burn that waste for energy, but also becomes ash because they produce concrete.
I'm just curious, is that practice implemented throughout the building, like even in the offices?
Every single thing. The offices is the easy spot.
Yeah.
Because
Paper.
like I went from having one garbage can to 10.
Right.
It's really difficult downstairs on the processing floor because in the office you're making like a tiny little bit of garbage.
Right.
Downstairs we're making huge 2,000-pound piles of garbage every day.
It even goes back to as far as our bottles. We realized a long time ago, a lot of people drink Boulevard beer, which means a lot of bottles are going into landfills.
Right.
And that takes up a lot of space and is bad for the environment. And at the time, Kansas City had no real good glass recycling solution. So John McDonald, our founder, got with some like-minded business owners in Kansas City and started a company called Ripple Glass, which is just a glass collection site. It's a sorting facility, and we put these bins throughout the metro for consumers to take their consumer glass, and they could just drop it off. And it didn't matter if it was an olive oil bottle,
Right.
if it was a liquor bottle, or if it was a Boulevard beer bottle. And what Ripple does, it separates those glass. So green glass gets ground to cullet and becomes fiberglass insulation.
Okay.
And all the brown bottles that go in those bins and get sorted, those also get ground to cullet and sent back to our bottle manufacturer to be put in the fill to become brand new beer bottles. So it's this
Okay.
really cool beer circle of life.
So it really works out sustainably for the earth, but also, I mean, that's a good business practice because at the end of the day, you know, you kind of got to look out for that bottom line.
Totally, yeah, and we factor that in. I mean, for us, being sustainable and protecting the environment isn't just an additive thing. It's part of who we are. But we are aware that our things that we do or changes that we make can also benefit us. One example is our building has 2 solar arrays, an 18 kilowatt photovoltaic array and a 200 kilowatt photovoltaic array. And what those produce is they offset our energy usage. And usually we tell people when they ask, well, how much energy is that? It's about the amount of energy several households would need to operate annually.
So as a company, are you all kind of sitting down quarterly or annually and saying, here's where we can implement more sustainability practices? Or is it something that you're just kind of thinking of every day?
Even in the beer world, we can't just produce a beer and let it go and hope that it does well. We have a strong focus on everything we do. And whether it's the best way to make beer, the most efficient way to make beer, or ways that we can improve our day-to-day work. For example, when our brew house was installed in 2007, it was considered the most efficient brew house in the world because we had some clever engineers that created what we call a vapor lock over the boil kettle. And as you're boiling liquid, you're producing steam. And most often you just send that steam off into the air. Right. But what we do is after we've boiled it and we volatilize any compounds that we don't want in that, we capture that steam and we use that steam to recirculate and kind of insulate the water pipes or keep the containers hot. And it does 2 things for us. It reduces the amount of energy we need to boil water, but it also reduces the amount of water that we produce or that we waste. Because traditionally it takes about 6 gallons of water to make 1 gallon of beer. With this system, we've gotten that down to just over 4 gallons of water for 1 gallon of beer, and we make about 5 million gallons of beer a year. So when you do that math, you can see how much water we're conserving and also reducing our overhead on our costs, our energy bills.
Can you talk a little bit about the recycling process as far as the spent grain?
Yeah, spent grain, what we do, we have a really good relationship with a feedlot here in town. So when we use the malted barley, when we pull all the sugar out of it, the only thing that's left is like fiber and husks and like things that we cannot digest as people. But cows can. So we sell all of it. We sell it all very, very cheap to a guy named Pat Ross. He owns a feedlot, and so it becomes cattle feed.
Oh, wow.
And then it gets better than that, though, because Pat actually feeds all the cattle, and he supplies all of the cattle to a place called Bicklemar Meat, which is about 2 miles down the road. That Bicklemar Meats was one of the last original slaughterhouses that was left. So basically, if you buy like a Boulevard Pale Ale and a steak from Bicklemar, there's a pretty good chance that the grain that cow ate also made your beer that you drink.
So you all have also done, from what I can understand, y'all have done a good job of creating like a local ecosystem. Like you're able to work with a lot of businesses that are close to you all and like recycle and reuse, and it benefits you all, as a business, but also just sustainably for the earth. So also I've noticed within the recent years you all have moved to aluminum cans. Was that a conscious effort also?
The whole industry is going toward cans. And that is a financial consideration because customers want cans. But also the silver lining on that is that cans are way more recyclable.
So in comparison to other breweries of you all's size, do you feel like Boulevard is leading the way, or do you feel like you all still have room to grow?
We absolutely have room to grow, and I would say the brewing community kind of all feel the same way. Most craft breweries in the United States understand the importance of protecting our environment, especially in this climate, with climate change and our ecosystems getting stressed daily. Brewers have a profound sense of protecting the environment that produces the raw materials they need. And I would say that while in some cases maybe we are innovative and we are leading the way, but we also look around at our friends and neighbors and see what they're doing, and we share techniques and find new ways to become more efficient.
Okay, so you all have a public-facing component within Boulevard, doing the tours, the beer hall as well. How does sustainability come into there? Because you want the people that's coming into you all space to, basically get in line.
Sure. We have thousands of visitors weekly, and we find it's a really good opportunity for us to educate the consumers. But also when people come to the beer hall just casually for a beer, they're kind of faced with what we're doing when they go to throw things away. So it's not even the containers in our office, but it's also in the beer hall when a consumer is done eating or drinking and they have to, take their their trash away,
Right.
they see they're kind of forced with that choice, and they have to make a concerted effort in thinking about how they're disposing their waste. I will also say Kansas City has embraced this very well. When we go back talking about Ripple Glass, we put those bins out there with no real expectation that it would get used in the way that it has. And we see people in line waiting to dump the glass from the party they had the weekend, or just the recyclables that don't fit in the city's recycle bin. Over the past, since Ripple Glass has been in place, we've recycled over 1 billion beer bottles, and that's not us.
Yeah.
I mean, we do drink our fair amount of beer, but that is all consumers. Those
That's
are
the
the people
community.
that's taking it out into the community, and we're seeing people do their own part. Our founder, John McDonald, he told us many years ago at a meeting one day, he said something that stuck with all of us, and he said, "It's never wrong to do the right thing." And we think that applies to our sustainability efforts, our eco-friendly efforts, and how we manipulate and operate and just maneuver through the brewery and our own lives, and we carry that over.
So Boulevard has come a long way. You all have grown exponentially. Can you talk about what you see happening in the industry, and what do you think is like in the future for brewing companies that kind of compare to you all size?
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I love this industry. When I was younger, I started in like heavy industry, food plants, auto plants, and everything is driven by money. Like if it's cheaper, you'll do it. If it costs more, you won't. In the brewing industry, at Boulevard and also other places that are our size, these guys, they're not your average CEO. They're CEOs who care about not just the environment, but about the people.
Right.
So they will do things with no cost, with no return on investment. So to set up a recycling program, it's not cheap at the beginning. There's an initial investment. Brewing guys or brewers will do it. Other places, I'm not so sure. It's harder with them. When we built this building, the bottle line was kind of dark, a lot of fluorescent, harsh lighting.
Yeah.
So he put a skylight in, and it's a huge skylight, and there's zero return. He just said, my friends down there need sunlight, so that's what we're gonna do.
But also we have a green roof. And that green roof was put in place in order to kind of offset our energy usage as well. It provides insulation, keeps us a little bit cooler in the summer, and it keeps us a little bit warmer in the winter. And that green roof also, it does what a green roof does. It absorbs CO2, it produces oxygen, and it also collects water from like rainwater, preventing a lot of runoff into the city as well.
Why are these initiatives so important to not only Boulevard, but the craft brewing industry at large?
So we've been making beer for about 35 years. And in a perfect world, we would continue making beer for 35 years. But we can only keep making beer if the earth is able to produce the ingredients that we need to make it. And it would be naive and irresponsible for us as a company to not rededicate or refocus our efforts on protecting the environment that provides us what we use. We use a lot of agricultural goods, and we want to make sure that we're doing the best that we can leave the earth in the best condition as possible to continue that, not only for us, but for future generations.
Do you have any hopes for the future as far as the craft brewing industry goes? Like you hope to see?
Personally, I just hope to see this focus continue. A lot of breweries are doing a lot of really amazing things that we can take cues from, and we hope that we can keep doing things that other breweries and other companies outside the brewing industry that might also take cues from us and start applying those efforts. I would love to be able to walk into any convenience store, grocery store, supermarket, or business that I have to visit and not see one trash can, but see many, and know what those are used for and how to use them, and knowing that the effect that it has at large in protecting the earth.
Well, Adam, this has been incredibly insightful. Again, such an amazing facility, and it's been amazing to learn about what's happening right here in our community and just how much work you all are putting into this and how it really affects our city and the country as a whole. Thank you so much for having us.
It's my pleasure.
Awesome.
Should we go get a beer?
Let's go.